Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. New camera, 60 FPS, new microphone, new lights that are slightly broken because my USBs aren't getting enough power, but still all the same, more Coronation Street news. Now this one is off the back of a very contentious year for Coronation Street. They've been struggling to say the least, and on this channel we've chronicled the struggle, and more of a struggle, because ultimately cast members being axed, cast members deciding last year to leave, leading Cape Brooks up a creek without a paddle, and even then some more cost-cutting measures. ITV opting to cut an hour away from the programming of Corrie and Emmerdale, and even looking to kind of ice out some of the longer contracts, looking to change the structure. Honestly, it's been a real bloodbath over this last year or so, because ultimately soaps are not in a good place right now. And why do I say that? Well, because, you know, in a few short months, Neighbours will stop airing again. Neighbours, which was brought back from the brink of extinction. They were gone for 2 years until Amazon swooped in and did like a season or two. And now, you know, Emmerdale, still people argue it's in a good place, still having problems. Coronation Street's been pretty garbage about this year, and I'll get into that more in a second, but still, the only soap, and Hollyoaks, well, Hollyoaks has gone under its already massive Hollyoaks cast cull, as they had to get rid of like 30 members of cast. Like, it's insane. It's not been a good time to be a soap fan, simply because you don't know whether everything is going to be fine. We're all that dog in the house with a cup of tea, just like, this is fine as the house is on fire. Like, it's absolutely insane how much turbulence there's been in soap as of late. Because, look, at the end of the, and obviously I'll read the, all right, I'll read the headline, I'll go back to my spiel. So saying, ITV, this from The Sun, of course, you know, blah, blah, blah. ITV will sack 1 in 10 cast members from Corrie and Emmerdale in savage cost-cutting bloodbath. So that's the headline. I'll read that in a second, but I'll go into more. The issue with soaps is soaps are often kind of leaning on its legacy. Soaps are supposed to be yearly shows that get a lot of view time and a lot of watch hours, and it generally gets a lot of sponsor money and gets a lot of ad time. But with all that said, a lot of these soaps are dining out on a legacy that will far precede them. Coronation Street been on the air for 65 years. EastEnders 40 years. Hollyoaks, well, like 30 years. And you're kind of dining out on these milestones, as a lot of these shows aren't as popular as it has ever been, because the way that we watch things have changed now. Viewers' tastes have changed now. But the main problem with that is now, you know, they're losing viewership year upon year, and it only really spikes up when there's a genuinely truly exciting piece of time, like a genuinely, like, you know, the Who Killed Lucy stuff, any of the anniversaries. Like, it's really hard to keep soap fans watching because it's such a long commitment and it's very inaccessible. And not to say it's been coming for a long time, but if you've been a Hollyoaks fan or even just any other sort of fan of soap, you know that there's been other troubles. Coronation Street, a lot of AXINGS this year. Some of the most prominent characters axed. Some of the most long-running characters axed. And at the end of the day, there's only so much you can do to tempt these kind of actors back. Like, yeah, sure, I'm sure Helen Worth wanted to retire, but also she probably only had about, what, like 30 episodes in the last year? And this was supposed to be the year that she was supposed to be prominent, and this was going to be the last year of Gale. So, ultimately, kind of makes you raising your questions. I mean, even the older cast, you know, Evelyn fucked off, but then I think now she's back. Ken had a decent chunk of episodes. Not really. Rita, non-existent. You know, probably has about 20 episodes over the year. Like, there are so many characters that just haven't gotten the screen time. And now this kind of pits it into an entirely different thing. Are the younger cast getting the storylines because they are the future of the show and they are building to the future? Or is it just because they're cheaper? Because if you don't know how it works with soap, you're paid per episode, right? You're paid per episode. You'll do roughly, what, 200 episodes a year? And if you're paid, 500? You know, that's a good 100K. I'm sure that's some dumb idiot math, but, you know, if we just say that, like, you know, and historically, a lot of the cast, they're not on that huge, like, money. Like, the highest paid ones are, like, decent six figures. Like, I remember Jack P. Shepherd was on about, like, what, 200K, roughly? And it's kind of suggested that a lot of the older cast are actually kept on a genuine retainer. So, like, I assume David's on retainer. Ken's almost definitely on retainer. I assume that, like, Rita is on retainer. If you don't know what that means, obviously that's the kind of... That's who's actually getting... I'm going to use the term, it's a wrestling. I'm going to call it a downside guarantee. Basically, you will get a salary no matter what. And whereas a lot of other characters are getting their salary based on how many episodes they're in, a lot of these older cast may be on a salary basis rather than a per episode. So it's a really bizarre time because, and let's just peel it back, soaps aren't cheap. You know what I mean? Like, let's just kind of reiterate what a soap commitment is. If you commit to doing a soap, you are committing to doing about 210 episodes a year. This is, of course, paying for a whole cast, which, you know, 70, 80 members of cast, all on, well, you know, 90% of them on a very healthy salary because you're not allowed to do work other than Coronation Street. So you have to just be a Coronation Street star. You can't really be doing much else on top of it. You can't be doing other acting work. And you do that, and then you have to pay for all the crew and all the directors and the writers and the producers, which you are still producing what 3 hours of a show a week in order to keep the audience there. Which, let's be honest, you could just do 2. Might be a bold take. You could just do 2 episodes. You could just do 2 hours a week and just do it across 4 episodes. It's the EastEnders approach. It's the right approach. There's too much. There's too much Coronation Street, especially at this point in time, in my opinion. But, you know, I'm sure we'll get into that more. But soaps are expensive. You got to pay for all the production, all the crew, all the cast, all the sets, everything. Everything comes out of budget. And even Neighbours, which is the perennial underachiever. I don't know how it's kept being brought back with the weird direction that it had. But anyways, I'm not exactly a Neighbours fan, so maybe a Neighbours fan will be upset with that. Neighbours was shelling out like a good 8 million on filming. And it's like, brother, you gotta know your audience. Like, Neighbours, I do love you legends, I do. But you ain't making 8 million a year. That's not how it works. Like, the issue with soaps is soaps aren't inherently profitable. Like, the weird bit, and I really think they've missed out on it. First and foremost, soap socials need to get way better. They need to. Like, you could be, you know how Twitter will just post like, you wouldn't believe what this character did. And then it's like this, and it's like a clip of Grey's Anatomy where April Kepner has the rash on. You just post clips like that online, it goes viral. It's easy. Not that hard. You post full storylines on your YouTube channel, you get that ad revenue. I get that you have kind of rights deals and whatnot, but even then so, like, you really can do more. And even then so, you gotta start monetizing it. Like, look, soaps have always had like their title sponsors, which I assume are the big sponsors that give a good chunk of money into it. But like, you could do more. You really could do more to monetize your soaps. Get merch, for fuck's sake. Get merch. It's not that hard. Anytime you release some little Coronation Street merch, people will buy it. People are suckers. I've got an Emmerdale teapot. Didn't buy it, of course. Got it. It was sent to me, but you know, I've got an Emmerdale teapot. I've got a Coronation Street mug. Start accessorizing it. You've got this lovely wealth of history that you don't actually make, that you don't actually put out there publicly. And other people are kind of reaping the rewards from it. I don't understand. Why are you not monetizing it better? I know it's an easy kind of catch-all term, like, oh, just monetize it better. Me making 60 quid every 2 months. But like, at the end of the day, you're a massive fucking organization. You're ITV. And if there's one thing that ITV are absolutely garbage at, it is advertising. Advertising for ITV is so cheeks right now. Because they made a really good choice. They made a really, really exciting choice by going, hey, let's put it on YouTube instead of ITVX. You know, ITVX, the service with the shit ton of ads that nobody ever wants to sit through. Yeah, just put it on YouTube. You know, if you have an ad blocker, sound. If you don't, good job supporting us. Let's go. But, and by doing that still, though, it's not like you're putting out fucking barn burners. You're putting out the same Coronation Street and been putting out all year, which isn't great. It's not great. Because, like I said, now that, and I will read the article soon, but sorry, I just have a lot on this. But like, you even go ahead. I lost my train of thought by trying to make a cut to say I will actually stay on track of the video. But yeah, as I said earlier, now you start to wonder, and it's just because it is an alarming thought. Like, are they really not giving Rita and Ken and these characters episodes simply because the new cast rate is cheaper? Like, that's mental to think about, because suddenly all of your most prominent Coronation Street stars, Kit, Lauren, the younger cast, Lisa, like a lot of these characters, they're not commanding the same episode rate as a lot of these long-standing characters. Like, they're operating on something way bigger than you. And, you know, it's just an alarming thought, isn't it? Like, oh, you're telling me that instead of actually paying the best actors, we are just going to shift all the actors onto lesser contract. I mean, it's why Charlotte Jordan, who played Daisy Midgley, left. Is because she basically went, fuck it, I can make more money and not have to do grueling 14-hour days, Monday through possibly Saturday. It's coming home. Sorry, this video comes out tomorrow. I'm so glad we won the Women's Euros. I'm so sad we lost. But yeah, just like obviously it's not the main reason, but if you can use the platform of being on Coronation Street to become a really, really big deal. And you can, because, you know, let's take Charlotte Jordan as that example. She was on the show for what, approximately 3 years, and she has 225k followers, and now she just puts Instagram posts out there which get like 10k a piece. You're telling me she can't go ahead and just monetize and take sponsorships and go out on holidays and do all the extra cool stuff? Like, she simply can. And that's what you do when you become a prominent figure on national TV every week. So, and if you can, it's like wrestling right now. A lot of like women's wrestlers are kind of realizing that I could wrestle, or I could be an OnlyFans model and make more money and not fuck up my body for years to come. Why would I wrestle? Why would I wrestle when I can make better money? And obviously it's not the same thing, but like, you know, most people who don't just want to do... Most people who want to do more, they've got a podcast. They're doing other stuff. They're greenlighting. They're doing all the panto. They're doing anything else they can. So yeah, it's just a wild time in soap. And trust me, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Hollyoaks has only just about finally weathered the storm. But even then, so Hollyoaks is still struggling to actually put on a succinct program and not just keep fucking it up and changing shit just because they want to do this story and they don't really know the smart way to how. So, and that's the thing. And I suppose the final bit on Coronation Street struggles. Simply saying, the show's not been very good this year. And I like to try and be very positive about these things. I know it's ironic because I've spent 15 minutes complaining. But at the end of the day, the show's just not been that interesting. Sorry. Like, you know, you start the year, you have Rob Donovan's escape. You're like, oh, he was a good character once. Not in this iteration. Oh, no, let's see what Dee Dee's doing. She can't have kids anymore and now her brother's taking the baby. Oh, how about the Websters? Kev's pregnant and now Abby's cheating on him with his brother Carl. Oh, you know, let's see what Steve and Tracy and Amy are doing. Steve and Tracy are divorced and Amy isn't doing anything. What about Tyrone and Fizz? Nah. What about Craig? Craig's always good, dead. What about Nick and what about the Platts? Kit and Sarah. That's it. What about Lisa and Carla? Are they happy? No, they're tragic and traumatized. Oh, and also Mick and Lou. Oh, weren't they bad characters? Actually turned out to be two of the better characters of this entire year. At the end of the day, genuinely turned out to be two of the best characters Coronation Street have done in a while. Which is wild to suggest. But genuinely, by the end, Mick and Lou actually turned out to be decent characters. It's crazy. Like, I'm just saying, if at any point they do want to bring Lou back, I would 100% be behind it. Because she actually did turn out to be very, very good. And it's just been a plodding year. And I will already say, Coronation Street, cut an hour off your fucking shows a week, please. You're doing us all a favor. I know people like having 3 hours, and of course I'm biased as I have to watch 1 hour of Hollyoaks, 2 hours of EastEnders, and 3 hours of Corrie. But fuck me, you don't need the third hour. You don't need the third hour of Coronation Street. You don't. It's a bad idea. Who told you? And before it was 3.5 hours. Before it was 3.5 hours. Who decides you need 3 hours of programming a week? Maybe I'm wrong with this one, but fuck me. Like, yeah, sure, 3 hours when it's good is great, but 3 hours when it's shit is awful. I can't lie. I'm not lying. But yeah. And I suppose obviously and finally all of this is set to build up to the major like 2026 where they're doing the soap power hour where it's a 30-minute episode and it goes with Emmerdale in like the soap power hour, and they're going to do that big they're going to do the big where Emmerdale and Corrie comes together in a bid to capture ratings and hearts and minds. So sorry, continuity. It got way too fucking warm. When you rant for 20 minutes at a time, it does get quite warm. But yeah, it's just a hard thing. It's just a hard thing to kind of quantify, because I'm sure not all of these decisions are within Kate Brooks's hands, and I think she's been given a pretty bad go of it. But fundamentally, your job is to make Coronation Street good. And just like Ian McLeod before you fucking failed. Sorry to say. I've liked a lot of the stuff they've been doing, but like all the newer characters as well. Like, why is every character someone with a dark side? Like, you're like James Bailey. He's trying to take Dee Dee's kid away from him, but obviously Dee Dee was allowing it, but now she wants him. She wants her back. Oh, Carl. Oh, he's this cool, cheeky chappy. What a cool guy. He wants to sleep with his brother's wife whilst he has cancer. Oh, and don't worry about Theo. Seems a little bit abusive at times. And, you know, they seem to be setting up the future of Todd and James rather than Todd and Theo. Like, everyone's suddenly going, oh, I really like these. They've got a dark side. I don't need dark sides. I just need fun characters. I don't need dark sides. Just give me something good. But, yeah, I don't know. It's lost its way. It's lost its identity. And I say this, I don't even mind watching Coronation Street that much these days. It's just, you know, you watch something and you enjoy it because you like the show as a concept, but you're not really liking the direction that it's going. So, yeah, it's just a sad time to be a Coronation Street fan. I've seen people throw around the term indoctrination street, which is a crazy term. I don't co-sign it, but it's a crazy term that people are starting to use. People are leveling up their game to shit on it, so yeah, all right, fine. So I say, and obviously this article is pretty slim, so I may have been stalling for 20 minutes, but there's not 20 minutes. There's not 20 more minutes worth of article, so... All right, so ITV will sack 1 in 10 cast members from Corrie and Emmerdale in savage cost-cutting bloodbath. Execs are putting pressure on their top soaps to slash their spiraling budgets. Also, one question. What the fuck are they spending their budget on? Because it's not making a good show. It's not making a good show, is it? Obviously, Emmerdale's been good this year, but Coronation Street, what are you fucking doing? What are you doing? At all. So 1 in 10 cast members. Corrie cast members. How many cast members do they actually have? I'd argue it's probably what, like 70? So that were they gonna act like what, like 7, 8 kind of characters? I'm not doing the man math, I won't lie. Proposed plans also include the number of scenes per episode for Coronation Street and Emmerdale after the slashing the number of scenes after the broadcast round, so it's cutting a further 15 million from its total budget. But that's the question. Where the fuck are you getting the 15 million from? Because it's not from Coronation Street. It's not from Coronation Street. ITV profits have slumped by 44% to 99 million for the first 6 months of the year. Oh. Well, I mean, 44% profit isn't that bad. It's not great, but now insiders have revealed executives are putting pressure on their top soaps to slash their spiraling budgets, cutting the soap's cast list by 10%. Coronation Street has 84 permanent cast members, Emmerdale has 70. So, obviously, so what? 10% of 84, it's what? 8 cast members gone. You can't axe a fourth of a cast member. Although a fourth is what Ed Bailey's actor uses for his talent. Sorry, that's mean. I like Ed Bailey. He's a good character. He's a fun character. Emmerdale is 70, so what? 10%, so 7. So roughly 15 members of cast set to depart. Staffing on both soaps have risen rapidly in recent years, with many actors guaranteed a minimum episode of episodes and episode fees per year. Yeah, so obviously what that means is a lot of these actors will be getting their kind of downside guarantee. Here's the salary you will get, basically by saying, here is the minimum amount of episodes you will do, and through the money you'd be getting per episode, that's how much you'll make a year. So, yeah. It's also suggested that suggested scenes per episode could be cut. Both soaps have about 20 scenes per show, and the number of cast used for each episode could also be trimmed. A soap source said It's brutal. We've known it's on the cards for a while, but they're really cranking up now across the soaps. Looking to save millions, and Corrie and Emmerdale are the obvious places. They're very expensive shows. I mean, also, let's just say, ITV's been in the shit for years. And ITV continue to be in the shit. And they are just constantly going back and forth and keeping... Like, it's not like you've been helping it out. Like, I understand that soap execs are trying their best to keep all the shows going. But, now, hard but. If you keep fucking up the show's not going to be as good as it could be. Sorry to say that. I know it's bold to say. You can't keep axing all the biggest stars and then saying, just make more of them. That's not how it works, unfortunately. Well, it is, but it's hard. And 20 scenes per show and then the cast episode could be trimmed. It really is a cost-cutting measure, isn't it? But like, see, I don't know if ITV's really thought this out. Because if you have less cast per episode, you have less cast per year in episodes. Are you then going to start cutting the fees that you pay the actors for being in the shows? And therefore, if you're cutting off an actor's livelihood and cutting off a big source of income, why the fuck are they just going to stay? Why are they going to stay? Because the bigger actors, they're not going to take the fucking cut. Steve McDonald, he's not going to take a cut. Ken Barlow's not going to take a cut. You know, Barbara Knox isn't going to take a cut. Like, I don't know why I've gone between actors and actual names, but they're not taking that cut. Jack P. Shepherd's not taking a cut. He'll just say, I fucking won Celeb Big Brother. I'm one of your biggest stars. So I recognize that I think the problem with ITV is that their ITVX experiment kind of failed. Because the advertising for ITVX is so garbage that no one actually feels that ITVX is an actual streaming service. Despite it actually having very strong like material and very good like it has a very good library of shows, but ultimately out of all the shows you're gonna choose to watch, why are you gonna watch any on ITVX with so many ads? Like, and also fundamentally it's free. Who's paying for ITVX Premium? I paid for it like a couple times, but that's just because it was dirt cheap. Like I wasn't paying like a tenner for it. It's not Netflix. Netflix charges you what, like 13 quid for a normal sub. ITVX is fucking free, boys. Like it's mismanagement, and I don't think it's not Coronation Street's fault. Yeah, sure, Coronation Street over the last 5 years at least. It has done everything to isolate and alienate its audience, and that is its problem. But at the end of the day, if you're on a sinking ship, there's only so much you can flash away the wares and sell up your shop. Like, you're going down with a ship, unfortunately. And it's kind of impressive that within all the turmoil within soap, you do just have EastEnders, which is like, yeah? Like, how's EastEnders smelling the roses? It's just turns out you had the right direction. You've added the right service. It's the BBC, so it's absolutely making bank. Because isn't it government subsidized anyway? And then, with all that said, you've also had probably what some would call a golden era of EastEnders, finally returning it to being the flagship show of right now. So yeah, it's hard. It is very hard to kind of luster, but I still don't believe it's Coronation Street's fault. Many who have been there for a long time are reliant on their income staying as is. Yeah, exactly. Like, Ken's going bankrupt every 3 years. Homie needs this job. Like, I know it's always funny when Ken's like, I want to stay till I'm 100, but the amount of time she's gone fucking bankrupt. Like, he still needs the money. He still needs the money. The amount of cash has spiraled out of control, and focusing on dialogue, not action, could also save money. I mean, not to say this, you can just cut all the stunts. Honestly, just do one stunt a year maximum. Coronation Street over the last couple of years have not been known for its stunts. Absolutely not. I can't think of an exciting stunt Coronation Street has done in the last 5 years. And all I think about is Rob fucking falling off the banisters. Like, you don't need to do action stuff. You don't. Do it at Christmas. Do it in whenever the Super Soap Week is. Otherwise, don't do it. Don't need it. Soaps are characters first, action after. Some other cast members have full-time contracts with a salary, but the majority are paid by the episode. Yeah. I mean, we can imagine who those are. Comes amid cuts across the ITV daytime schedule with the hundreds of staff acts from Good Morning Britain, Lorraine, This Morning, and Loose Women. I mean, it doesn't help our ITV's been racked with scandal, where you go, oh, it's This Morning, which was the definitive morning chat show. And then you have, obviously, Philip Schofield, who you've been paying millions to every year, and is outed to be a nonce. So, yeah, it's just an unfortunate time to be. It's an unfortunate time to be Coronation Street fan. Now, if you're like me, you have the other favourites. Corrie used to be my favourite 4 years, and then EastEnders took it over, as did Hollyoaks. But I think at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think it's Coronation Street's problem. Yeah, sure, it definitely hasn't helped, but it has had a couple of really rough years. And we're not exactly heading to a major anniversary now because we've kind of seen it already. So fundamentally, once you hit 50, you're not really going to be making a big deal out of 55. You're just going to be heading out straight to 60. But yeah, I don't know. I think it could do with the cast cull. Like, do you need Brian? Do you need, like, I guess you can keep Mary. Get rid of Cassie. You don't need Cassie whatsoever. You do want to keep, you could probably get rid of Jenny. I know Jenny's got like legacy and she's still there, but you can get rid of Jenny. She's not got any family left. You could easily axe Kirk. I know he's the token comic relief, but you don't need him. Who else? I'd axe Gemma. You can keep Bernie, I guess. Nah, fuck it. I'd axe Gemma and Chesney. They can go. I'd probably get rid of Shona. And this isn't, obviously, we're standing a bunch of characters who are probably quite unnecessary at this point in time. But yeah, like, you can definitely get rid of some characters. Honestly, I'd give Tracy a break. Like, I like Tracy, but she's lost a lot of the luster that she's had in the previous years. And obviously you wouldn't get rid of Steve because you're synonymous, but you could easily get rid of Tracy. You could easily get rid of Adam and Alia. Like, there are just so many characters that are there to be there, but not exactly doing anything. But, I mean, when I say this, obviously I'd get rid of, like, Lauren and whatnot, but they're kind of prominently seen, so you can't really dump them immediately. But yeah, it's an unfortunate time to be a Coronation Street fan. If you've been a Hollyoaks fan, you've been kind of seeing the writing on the wall for a while. But at the end of the day, it'll be about seeing how Coronation Street aims to combat it. I still suggest get rid of a fucking extra hour, you pricks. Just get rid of an extra hour. Nobody wants 3 hours of this Coronation Street. Like, 3 hours is an insane amount of TV. And, you know, just put it out over 4 episodes a week like EastEnders does. Release it all early on YouTube and on ITVX, and then suddenly we're cooking with gas. But with all that said, though, a lot of kind of interesting ways. Honestly, it just paints the way. It is ITV, really. ITV is the problem. Coronation Street hasn't helped, sure, But it is ITV's problem at the end of the day. And I think they've been really, really struggling to kind of hold it all down. And you do have to do better, because you can't buy legacy in TV. You can't. Not many companies have a 60-year-long show that you've been doing. They don't. Or a 65-year-long show. You don't. You simply don't. It's hard to... Like, it's so hard to kind of justify. And that's why a lot of companies would love to have a soap, because of the legacy. But at the end of the day, soaps are fucking expensive, because you're putting out 210 episodes a year with 70 permanent cast members. Like, fucking hell. There are bigger industries with less payroll than that. So, yeah, it's not glamorous being in TV, but it'll be interesting to see just how Coronation Street unfolds, and just how they manage to deal with this current change of circumstances. As Hollyoaks will dictate, you can survive this and you can manage to do better, but you are kind of working on borrowed time for now, until there's a real sign that it will and definitely can get better. So yeah, there we are. Tell me what you think in the comment section. This was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I just had a lot to say. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.